Welcome to a How to Grow. This podcast is where I talk about my mental health and my journey through and how I'm growing, and hopefully I can help someone out. Tonight it will be a long episode. I'm going to talk about where I've been, how things have been, but also we're going to talk about what this month is, particular what was last week, and how to get that prevention and how to get help if you need help out there. Welcome everyone to another How to Grow. And like I said in the intro, this podcast is dedicated to my mental health, my journey, everything I've been through this far in my journey, and what I've been going through and what I am getting over. I wanted to first talk about how I've been lately. I've been pretty good. I've been on a high lately because of finding a new job. Because I actually took my own advice and I saw the red flags that was in front of me about my old job and found a new one immediately before I got screwed and was out of a job again. But I know it's been a very long time, so we are going to have a longer update on here too. And one of the reasons why you haven't heard from me in such a long time was because last year, actually it'll be around next month, towards the end, I became homeless. I was homeless up until May of this year. Me, my kids, my family, we were out living hotel to hotel. I lost my job too, that I had at that time. And it was one thing after another. And right now I've just been trying to get back on the right path. And now since I have a place I'm staying at and I have a home, let me correct that. I do have a home again. And I'm trying to be the best mom I can. But oddly enough, once I moved in, maybe a week or two after, I had a huge mental breakdown. And it's not that I wasn't taking my medication or doing everything I'm supposed to do, which I have been. But I unfortunately just lapsed into a huge mental funk where I didn't want to talk to people. I personally I had a day where I was crying at work, cried the way home, cried in my bed, fell asleep crying, woke up crying. It was pretty bad. I was ready to delete my Facebook because I felt alone. And I don't know if I've talked about it or not on here, but that is one of my triggers on when I get severely depressed. I feel alone. I feel like no one cares. No one's going to listen. And I slip under a deep depression. So now I'm working my way back out of it. The people who are closest to me, who check on me all the time and they keep an eye on me and make sure I'm all right, they've been really doing that a lot, which I love and appreciate them for. And they reminded me I'm not alone. I do have people who are here for me. I do have people who care about me. And I am just now working on with my Halloween specials, and I've just been keeping my mind focused. And also, I figured out and learned how to express myself in other ways. So I've been on TikTok more. I know, before anyone says anything. You haven't been uploading on here, but you've been uploading on there. it's kind of easier for me to do TikToks sometimes than sitting down and doing a podcast, because I don't have my podcast materials that I normally do. I don't have my laptop. I don't have my microphone at the moment. So if the audio is different, that is why I had to pawn it to actually keep afloat, especially when I was in the hotels and I was homeless. I even was trying to do a OnlyFans where I was putting my erotic stories on there and stuff like that, but I didn't really get anyone who listened, so. But I've just been surviving the storm that is called life. I'm doing better. I honestly am. This week, it's been kind of a woo week because Mother Nature decided to come and take a visit. If you know what I mean. But, I'm getting things done for Halloween and things like that. And oddly enough, this year, I feel so much happier about being able to be in a home for Halloween and celebrate my favorite holiday. But I am going to take a quick music break before we get into what I wanted to talk about this week. All right? Alright, so what I wanted to talk about this week is what last week was, but what this whole month is, which is Suicide Prevention Week and Month. And as you guys know on here, I have my own suicide stories where I've tried to attempt to take my life over 7 different times. And this is why I talk about like the triggers and things like that. Especially with having my mental health issues. I feel like maybe it could help someone if you can pinpoint what exactly brings you into the darkness, as I call it, the sadness, what takes you to that level of hell and holds you in there and can possibly take your life. And I first of all want to say there's nothing weak about thinking about suicide. There's nothing weak about it. Because there's a lot of people who will say, oh, you're just being weak. Oh, you're just doing this. You're just doing that. Oh, you're seeking attention. It's not that. You need help. There's a difference. And unfortunately, it's not talked about enough in our society still to this day, where it's still people who are taking their lives. And this is why I always say to check on the silent friends, check on the quiet friends, check on those friends who need it the most. And I do want to put out there the suicide prevention number. I'm trying to find it real quick. And also, besides the national number for it, there is a suicide prevention website. There's always help where you can find it in different ways. And even like, I live in Florida. I live in Tampa, Florida, and they have a local suicide prevention number, which is 211 if you live where I live at. And they can help you out greatly. When I was going through being homeless and stuff like that, I called them, and they were actually going to set me up with a therapist and everything. They even go through your insurance and find it. So do not think you are alone. And I'm going to give you guys that number real quick. It is 1-800-273-8255. That is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. You can also Google them, and it comes up. You can go on their website and chat with someone. All those things. Do not feel like you are alone. And please, for someone out there, check on your friends. Even if it's once a week, once a day, just say, hey, how are you? Are you doing okay? And let them know they can talk to you about anything. Do not judge someone, especially someone who is or has had suicidal episodes, because you don't know what hell they're going through. You don't know what hell they deal with constantly in their head, in their minds. So before you set judgment, please listen to your friends. If you're really going to be there for them, listen to them. I'm going to take a quick music break so I can grab a little drink of water, and we'll get more into this discussion, okay? So, I've been seeing, especially on TikTok and other platforms, that people have been putting, if their suicide would have went through, what would they be missing out right now? And I didn't do that on there, but I will do it on here. I would have missed out on my son's 4th birthday and how goofy and adorable this little boy is. I would have missed out on my daughter growing up to be such a beautiful young lady. I'd have missed out on my podcast growing to the level that it is currently. I would have missed out on my friends. I would have not been there for my mother when she needed me the most after she had her stroke. If my suicide would have been successful, I may have not even had my son. And I could have possibly caused my daughter to take her own life. I talk about my personal mental health on here and things like that because I want to help others. I don't want anyone to ever feel like I have in the past. I don't feel like that all the time now. There are moments where I do feel completely alone, like I have no one. But I also know that's not true now because I have friends. I have people who care about me and love me. And I always have someone who I can talk to. And I want anyone out there who is suffering, who's struggling, who genuinely feel like that they cannot talk to anyone, you can talk to me. You can hit me in my DMs on Instagram. I normally will answer on Instagram or my emails, which is poetsoul30@gmail.com. I will leave all that in the description down below. Even if you hit me up on my TikTok, I will answer people. I'm kind of neglectful some days about some of my things, but if I do see it's an emergency and you really need to talk to someone, I will be there for you 120%. I just want to say to whoever is hurting like that, there are resources out there. Please get the help. Your time, you're not ready to go yet. We're not ready for you to go yet. There's so many things out there. There's so many people who still need you here. I need you here. And I've never met you yet. But I want to meet you. So don't leave yet. Please don't. Yeah. I didn't think this was going to take me out as much as it did, but yes. Every day, if you have to, check on your quiet friends. Check on those friends that you know are hurting. Because not everyone will put their mental health status out there like I do. Not everyone will talk about it as open as I do. The reason why I talk about it as open as I will, and I keep going, because there's so many people who choose to suffer in silence because they feel like they're not going to be understood. And that's unfair. That's so sad to hear that people rather suffer in silence than get help because they don't feel like they'll get help. Because there's too many people who make it too easy to make fun of someone, to pass judgment, to talk shit about somebody, than honestly sitting there and talking to them and seeing what's wrong. And that's why there's so many people who choose suicide over anything else. Your mental health is very important. And it's very part of life itself. Do not feel like you are alone. You are not alone. I'm here with you. If no one else understands you, I do. If you have no one else you could talk to, you have me now. And with that, I'm gonna hop off of here. Please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok, all these things. Poet Soul 30. I will have it all in the description down below. Once again, if you need to talk to me, if you feel like you have no one to talk to, you can email me, poetsoul30@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. I love you guys. If no one tells you I love you, okay? And I need you part of my life. Thank you.